Hi, this is the first video of a series showing how to use the Nutanix Services Invoke-vdiDr script in order to do planned and unplanned failovers of Horizon View environments running on Nutanix. So first, let me show you what I've got in my lab. So I have a primary site and a secondary site. On the primary site, in the View console, we see that I have two enabled desktop pools, which each have a number of VMs assigned to them, right? And some of those VMs have user assignments already. So this is VDI1 with VMs 1, 2, through 3, and VDI3 has VMs 4 through 6. Okay. Now in Prism, on that primary site, we have two asynchronous replication domains which are replicating to the remote site, which we'll call the secondary site or the target. And async1 matches the VDI1 desktop pool. It has VMs 1 through 3. Async3 has VMs 4 through 6, so it matches VDI3 pool. In vCenter, let me refresh that view. We see that VMs 1 through 3 are in pool 1 and VMs 4 through 6 are in the pool 3 folder. Okay, so before we start using the script, we need to manually create a reference file, which will show what the mapping is between desktop pools and protection domains. So this is how it looks, right? You have a desktop underscore pool heading and a protection underscore domain heading, and then you specify the desktop pool and the matching protection domain as shown. So once you have that, we can start using the script to scan the environment. So let me copy that command here. That will be this first command, and put it in the PowerShell prompt. Okay, so we see that we specify the source environment information, so the source cluster, which is the Nutanix cluster with the Prism virtual IP, and then the source vCenter server and the source Horizon View server. We also specify a directory where we're going to put all the reference files, and where we have put the poolref.csv reference file, which we created manually. And we're going to call the scan workflow, and then we specify credentials, which those are custom credentials files which I've created beforehand. We could also use a user account which already has enabled credentials on vCenter and Horizon View, and manually specify a username and password for Prism access. Okay, let's run it once. So make sure that you've got all the prereqs that are required to run the script, and then it will connect to the source Horizon View server and create a reference file, which we're going to look at in a minute. Then it connects to the source vCenter server, also creates a reference file, then connects to the Prism cluster and make sure that protection domains don't need to be updated. So let's look at the reference files that it created. Right, so there are two of them, hvref.csv, which is information from the Horizon View server. So we see here we have the assigned user, the desktop pool name, and the VM name, which are documented for each VM. And then in vcref.csv, we've got the vCenter information. So here we have the port group name, the folder where the VM is, and then the VM name. Okay, so now let's change the environment and see how the script will update protection domains. So I'm going to go to View, and in VDI1, I am going to remove the third VM. So I'm just going to remove it from the pool and not delete it from disk, obviously. All right. There we go, it's gone. Now, of course, because there is no connection between Prism and View, that VM will still be defined as an entity in the protection domain. right? If we refresh it, get rid of that licensing message, and there we go, right? It's still there. But if we run the script again, not only will it update the reference files, but it will also update the protection domain. Right, so now we see in the hvrev.csv, VM3 is gone in a reference file. The same for the vCenter reference file. And if we go into Prism and we refresh, you see now that that protection domain only has 2 entities defined and VM3 is gone, right? So let's add it back. Run the script again. And note that it's back in the reference file. It's also back in Prism as a defined entity into that protection domain.